Hello, we are going to talk about public speaking, how to get started with doing a speech, okay? Understanding the different kinds of speeches that there are. We won't go into all of them, just a few, so that you'll have some information about them. Let's start then with definitions for informative speaking, which is what you will be doing soon. An informative speech is one where you share and enhance knowledge. You are sharing and enhancing knowledge. That is your agenda. You are not trying to influence people to do anything, say anything. You're just bringing forth the facts. You can include your opinion in something based on your experiences, but you still need information to support the evidence. You have to have supporting evidence for what you say. Mostly it's fact, but you can share an opinion in an informative speech. A persuasive speech, on the other hand, is one where you influence. To persuade means to influence. You are trying to influence your audience to say and to do and to behave in a way that you would like. You want their belief system to change, their actions to change, and there is a call to action in a persuasive speech. You need people to do something, sign a petition, boycott, do this and don't do something, whatever it is, to reach the goal. Persuasive speaking is also a little more controversial than very controversial from informative speaking. You have a topic where people are at polar opposites. Gun control, some people are for guns, other people against. The death penalty, some people believe in it, other people don't. Therein would be a persuasive topic. If people agree on something, there's nothing to persuade. Okay, so usually it's something where people have really polar opposites or really defining different ideas in the way that they view something. Speeches to entertain, they're one. Now, these are not a collection of one-liners to make people laugh. No, these are speeches where you add levity for varying reasons. Maybe you're talking about a taboo topic or a topic that makes people feel uncomfortable, and bringing in some comedy, a little humor, could make people feel more at ease. If you are roasting someone, of course, that may be a speech to entertain. Oftentimes it is. Another is a speech to give tribute. And this is where we are honoring people. Now, maybe you are accepting an award or you're introducing someone to accept an award. Maybe at a wedding, you're giving a toast and you're giving tribute to someone or something. There's criteria that go along with it, but those are the four main ones: persuasive, informative, speeches to entertain, and then those to give tribute. All right. What then is the goal of public speaking? What is the goal? Let's use that word, G-O-A-L, an acronym to help us out. There should be, just take these notes. G-O-A-L. G stands for get to the point. Don't tarry, don't wait long. You can have a wonderful introduction, but you want to get to the point so that people are interested and want to hear more. Oh, organize an outline. You are going to organize your thoughts, brainstorm, and put them in some kind of order, and then outline them so that they have a good flow, so that it is coherent and makes sense. A, attend. You give your attention, you attend to each of the main points you have in your outline. And then L, leave them with a message. So then the goal of public speaking is to get to the point, organize an outline, attend to each of your main points, and leave them with a message. This particular acronym is not new. It's one that came from Toastmasters. If any of you are familiar with that, it is an international group that helps people who want to get better at public speaking. Check them out. They have lots of different clubs around the Valley and certainly all over the world. It's an international group. How then did you choose a topic? People say, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. Lots of ways you can figure that out as well. The first thing I would suggest that you do, and I think that it makes the most sense, is to always talk about what you know. Talk about what you know. You're going to be more comfortable, more confident if you talk about something you know. I can talk about communication all day long. I know it inwards, outwards, backwards, forwards. I don't need a book to teach most of the courses. And that's not bragging, that's just I'm adept at the best practices. I keep abreast of the latest trends, and I'm always learning and taking more courses. So I know communication. If you were to ask me to talk to you about engineering, not so much. I'd have to defer to someone who knows what they're talking about. A, ask. Ask people what they're interested in. Just because something interests you doesn't mean it'll be interesting to somebody else. And you want that to be the case for your audience, because you're not speaking for you, you are speaking for them to share the information that you have. Go to the internet, see what's trending, find out topics, the hot topics that are out there, things that might be interesting to people. And of course, reading. What a novel idea. Read the newspaper, read stories, read articles, find out what is interesting, what people are concerned about, some fun things that people might want to know about, and share the information. Those are just different ways that you can choose a topic. You can certainly Google informative topics and a list of them will come up. But again, make sure that it is something that you know about. You don't want to always have to research everything. And certainly, probably the best way to come up with a topic is to brainstorm. Brainstorm about what you know. You will, for public speaking courses, have an assignment that will help you do that. It's the topic inventory, where you will have to brainstorm. I'll give you different categories to brainstorm, and hopefully it will prompt something in you to say, aha, that might be fun to talk about. Okay? All right. Another thing that's important when you're getting started with public speaking is to analyze your audience. Analyze your audience. You need to know to whom you're speaking. And if you don't, you could go, it could be a disaster. You don't want that. Several things to consider. And when we talked about the communication model and the different contexts, you're going to hear a lot of them here because they matter in communication. Age matters. If you're speaking to young people, you likely wouldn't speak to them the way that you're speaking to elderly people or middle-aged people. Gender is another consideration. Last year I spoke at, no, this year, wow. I spoke at American Express for their WIN, which is Women's Interest Network. And when I spoke to the person that contracted me to speak, Women's Interest Network, women, that's what I'm thinking, yeah? But thank goodness I asked her, was this all women? Her answer, no, men were going to be there too. So I needed to make sure that my message was inclusive, not just examples or stories or narratives or support that only dealt with women, but something that the men could feel a part of too, so that I wouldn't alienate or ostracize them. So make sure you ask who is going to be in the audience in terms of gender. Values. What is important to people? What do they value? What are their beliefs? What are their standards, their principles? You want to make sure that all of that is considered when you are speaking. C is for culture. We don't all come from the same place, so we don't all behave the same. Everything isn't important to the same people. Take that into consideration, okay? People from varying countries, the way that they do things is going to be different. Their language may be different. You want to be careful and mindful of that. G for geography. Again, if you live on the south side of Phoenix versus the north side versus west, east, Chandler, we have these ideas about where people live and what that means, how we view things. If you lived back east where it snows, how you view winter is going to be different than how someone in Arizona views winter. Okay, geography matters. And if you've experienced both, then your perception about it could be different from people who haven't. Religion is another context. People's beliefs and in a higher power or a doctrine that is in a church or man-made can make a difference. Everybody's not going to believe as you believe. So be mindful of that and then careful how we approach something. That's not to say that you should not be strong still in your beliefs, whatever they are, but just be mindful that not everybody will see things the way that you do. And so how you approach it may want to be a little different and more inclusive so that people listen to your message, because at the end of the day, that's really, really what you want. Education matters. Okay, if you're speaking to high school dropouts or high school educated people, college educated people, there's a difference, okay? And that's not to say that one's good or bad or right or wrong, there's just a difference, and we need to be careful how we approach it. When I do a lot of my speaking in the prison system, I was told that the majority of them, not all, but the larger percentile of them have about a 6th grade reading comprehension. So I need to be careful of the vocabulary that I use because I want to reach people. I want them to understand and enjoy whatever's being said. People's interests are also something that you should be concerned about in terms of the audience. If they're interested in something, they're going to want to listen. If they're not, not so much. Again, asking questions will help you determine and ascertain what you might want to talk about and perhaps areas to stay away from. I hope this is a beginning as you begin to consider what you're going to talk about and how you're going to get there.